of all of I think the first two slides, in my opinion, are absolutely simple, and you should not miss these questions when they show up on the test that's on Friday. In your opinion, what is causing the apple to fall? We were raising our hands. Maeve. All right. Why? I'm going to actually write in full sentences because I asked you to, but I know some people didn't. Why is gravity the answer? Because it pulls things or objects towards Earth. All right. Not a problem. Very easy. Anybody miss that one? I certainly hope not. And I hope we didn't miss number 2. All right, number 2. What force will slow the soccer ball down and stop it? Bianca. Friction. Why? Because as surfaces, if you can spell it right, Mr. Bullens, as surfaces rub together, it causes friction. Hey, I like that. Which slows/stops things. What else can friction do as things are rubbing together? Easton. Now, I'm not saying that rolling a soccer ball down the road is going to cause heat. Probably not. If you rolled the soccer ball down an asphalt road for 5, 6, 7 miles continuously, I bet it would have a different temperature when you picked it up. It wouldn't burn your hands or anything. But we've all, like we talked about it, when you slide on your bicycle purposely and you feel the tire's hot because friction can cause heat. All right, number 3. This part is so easy. The first part is, which shoe should I circle, Hudson? The basketball shoes, the ones on the right. All right, now, why are those the best shoes, Lucy? They are. I mean, I even put Jordans on there so people couldn't say, oh man, I've misspelled the. Oh dear. There. All right. Easy. No stress. Yes. All right. Number 4. And it's weird because when I was looking for this question for your study guide, I couldn't find anything on these two things. Both sides are pulling. There's no movement. Why is there no movement? Grace. Because the forces are balanced. Balanced forces, that means both sides. If I were able to, if I could label it, isn't that the pen? Is it going to let me draw? No, it's going to make me do that. Why can't I? There we go. If I could label it, let's just call it 300. What would I label that? 300 what? Newtons. I can just put an N there. And then that means this other side is also pulling with 300. I'm just using a random number. I don't know what the number should be with that many people, probably more than 300. And that's why it's balanced forces. If one side was pulling more than the other, it would be unbalanced and you would see people moving. All right, coming down to, well, I thought I was coming down to this page. You see me, I'm here. What is it doing? Why is it doing that? I have no idea. Exit drawing. There we go. All right, describe what would happen to this ball as you rolled it along the 4 surfaces. Landon, help me out with like along the ice rink there. I mean, the main friction's probably coming from the tennis ball, right? The ice rink has very, very little friction. What about the tile floor? Describe that for me, Maeve. I mean, I'm going to imagine in both the ice rink and in the house, you're probably going to hit the other side of the room. Hockey rink right there. I mean, I can't imagine. And again, we're rolling with the same force on all four. What's going to happen once I get into the grass area, though? The grass, Chloe. Grass has more friction, and it won't roll as far. And what about on the rocks, Sterling? It'll roll the shortest, right? Now, the thing about these questions, I just looked at questions from old tests and reworded them and put pictures in here instead of just having A, B, C, and D. So far, so good. All right. What's going on here? Don't overthink this one. This is not as hard as some people I saw were making this one. What's going on, Latrell? So if he's pushing, he's applying force. And that's all that we need to know. Somebody did say something about friction. Is there friction in the grass? Yeah. Does the friction get less as you cut more grass? Absolutely. But that's the big thing there. I wish I could bring one of those to school and let you know what that feels like. Those things are kind of wild. Oh, push mower's fine. That one, as you push, you are making the blade spin. So, because they're attached to the wheels, and as you push, the blade spin, and it's fun to mow with those because they do have like an extra thing in there that makes the blade spin faster. It's almost like when you're like driving like a 10-speed bike, they have these gears in there that make it spin fast. But like you can feel a huge difference if you're cutting a really high lawn, and then when you go back past it again, like those blades are moving. And then you cut another patch of grass that's heavier and they don't move as much. What is going to happen to this Gatorade bottle if no one adds force to it, Olivia? Or what's the other word? Inertia. So I want you to understand, Hudson, they may not say what law is at place. They may not say inertia, but you have to know what Newton's first law is to know that if nothing acts on it, it's not going to move. Because I don't think there's anything in there where it's directly quoting Newton's laws unless I can find it this evening. All right, two objects of different masses are being pushed with the same force. What is going to occur? Is the right side of the room awake? Because my left side is on fire answering questions. Jackson.
So for the rock, you have to, since it has a greater mass, you have to have more force.
But if you're pushing on it with the same force as the buggy,
then the rock's just going to stay there.
the rock will probably not move. Right? It's too big. And the cart will. Why? Why will the cart move and the rock not?
Because the cart has less mass and it's not as heavy as the rock.
Again, we're talking Newton's second law here, but they're not making you state Newton's second law. Still pretty easy, right? I really do love this little moving stick figure dude that I found. I'm going to have to save that somewhere on my computer because that guy's... I had to just looking up animated GIFs, and then you have to put in transparent background, and it showed up, and I'm like, I like that. It's kind of cool. All right, this is two great pictures here. Why is it important for a car to have proper tread? Anybody new? Anybody new? Bryson.
So it has more friction to the ground.
New tread has better friction. I promise you, if you'd have driven to work this morning on this tire on the right, you probably would have wrecked. I know that when we were coming up off the exit of 52, there was a car in the middle of the road, sitting there, lights off, not moving. Miss Bullens had to swerve around that. Had we had horrible tires, when we hit the brakes and swerved, we probably would have slid into that car. You have to have proper tread on your tires. All right, two identical balls are being pushed with the same force. One ball is being pushed along a flat surface. The other ball is being pushed down a slanted surface. Which ball will travel faster and why? Yes, ma'am. What's helping the ball when you're on that slanted surface? So it will go faster. Not fatter, faster. Good. Still no stress? Guys feeling okay about the test? All right. Next. This is kind of a tricky question. What happens when the mass of an object doubles? Chloe. Okay. Hudson? Oh, you're so close. You're so close. The force would double. So if I double the size of something, right, and I go from 100 newtons to 200 newtons, I have to double the amount of force to move it. Let me pause this. The force doubles, right? What happens if I go from 100 to 300? The force triples. 100 to 400, quadruples. They're not going to go over quadruples. If they do, I'm going to throw something at somebody. Most of the questions, Aubrey, most of the questions I've seen is double and triples. The force needed to move it triples. You will know that's the answer, Grace, because that's the only thing. It'll say the force stays the same. You need half as much force. You need like twice as much force, or you need 3 times as much force. Look at what it's asking you to do, and you will be fine on those. I promise. I wanted to make sure that was in there so we didn't have any stress with that. All right, using the drawing tool. Draw a flat track. Not a problem, and that's not going to be super flat, but it's flat enough for me. And we have one sloping gently. What does it mean to slope? Go down or up, right? But this says to slope gently downward. So here is a slightly downward slope. And it says one sloping upward. So we got a track going this way. And then it says one going steeply. So this, right? I mean, if you picked one of these to go down on your sled if it snows, I'll say big if it snows this year, which hill are you going down if it snowed, Abby? Yeah, which one? You going down the flat road, the slightly sloping one, the one going uphill, the one that's steeply sloped downward? Why? And you would go faster. That's the answer. What would happen if you were rolling a ball on a flat track? It's going to eventually come to a stop because of friction. Gently sloping, you might pick up a little speed, but not a whole lot. Going uphill, you're not going to do anything. You're going to sit there because you don't have enough force to get you up the hill. Sloping steeply downward, this is the one that I would want to be on if I was a ball because I would be having a whole lot of fun. All right, last one, 1 minute to do it. That's not too bad. Let's exit the drawing so it goes here. Describe the force needed to push the wagon once you add apples to it. Don't overthink this one. Addie. And with 30 seconds to spare, we can send this off to YouTube after they hit the like button and subscribe.